And don't forget please, practice makes perfect, so that's the only way to learn English and. Excuse me. Hello, teacher. I'm sorry to bother you. I have a question. Oh, hello, Marco. What's that question you want to make? Tell me. Yeah, thank you. What happens is that I'm having trouble improving my English. Well, you're not bad. In fact, you did well in the last exam. What's the matter? Well, it's about my English speaking skills. I find that sometimes, words just don't come to mind when I'm speaking English, and it's frustrating. I understand. That can be a common challenge, especially when you're learning a new language. Let me ask you, are there specific situations or contexts where you notice this happening more often? Yes, it tends to happen when I'm in a group conversation or when I'm trying to express complex ideas. It's like my mind goes blank. That's completely normal, and it happens to many language learners. One way to improve is to practice more. Do you engage in regular conversations in English with native speakers or fellow learners? I do try, but sometimes I feel too self-conscious, and that makes it even harder to find the right words. It's understandable to feel self-conscious, but remember that making mistakes is a part of the learning process. Most people are understanding and patient when you're trying to communicate in a new language. Have you considered joining a language exchange group or seeking out conversation partners who can provide a supportive environment? That's a good idea. I haven't tried that yet. I guess I've been too focused to studying by myself. Speaking with others is a crucial part of language acquisition. It can help you gain confidence and fluency. Additionally, expanding your vocabulary can help you find the right words more easily. Do you actively work on increasing your vocabulary? I do, but sometimes I forget the words I've learned when I need them the most. Forgetting words is common, and it happens to everyone from time to time. To combat this, try creating flashcards with new vocabulary and using them regularly. Contextualize the words in sentences, so you not only remember the word but also how to use it in conversation. That sounds like a useful technique. I'll give it a try. But what about when I can't think of the right word in the middle of a conversation? When that happens, don't be afraid to pause and think for a moment. Native speakers do it too when they're searching for the right word. You can also use placeholder phrases like, "I'm not sure what the word is, but," or, "let me find the right word for that," to buy yourself some time. That's reassuring to know. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for your advice, teacher. You're welcome. Remember, learning a new language is a journey, and these challenges are just stepping stones along the way. Keep practicing, and you'll see improvement over time. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss or any other questions you have? Actually, I have a few more questions about improving my English skills. Would you mind if we continue this conversation? Of course not. I'm here to help, so feel free to ask any questions you have. Thank you so much, teacher. Another thing that bothers me is my pronunciation. Sometimes, I'm not sure if I'm saying words correctly, and that makes me hesitant to speak. Pronunciation can be a challenging aspect of language learning. It's great that you're aware of it. Have you tried listening to native speakers and mimicking their pronunciation? Yes, I've tried that, but I'm not always sure if I'm getting it right. Are there any specific techniques or resources you would recommend? Absolutely. Watching English language movies or TV shows with subtitles can be helpful. Pay attention to how words are pronounced and try to mimic the intonation and rhythm. You can also use language learning apps or websites that offer pronunciation exercises and feedback. I'll give those techniques a shot. But what if I'm still not sure about my pronunciation? If you have access to a language tutor or teacher, they can provide personalized feedback on your pronunciation. Alternatively, you can record yourself speaking and compare it to native speakers. There are also online pronunciation communities and forums where you can ask for feedback and tips. That's reassuring to know. I, too, explore these resources. And what about grammar? Sometimes, I feel like I'm not using the right grammar structure when I speak. Grammar is another important aspect of language learning. To improve your grammar, it's essential to practice regularly. Try reading English books, newspapers, or articles to see how sentences are structured. Additionally, you can use grammar workbooks or online grammar exercises to reinforce your understanding. That makes sense. I'll work on my grammar skills as well. I'm really grateful for your guidance, teacher. You're very welcome. I'm here to support your language learning journey. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss or any other language-related concerns on your mind? Actually, I have one more question. How can I build my confidence when speaking English? I often feel nervous, and that affects my ability to communicate effectively. Building confidence in speaking a new language is a gradual process. First, practice regularly to become more comfortable with the language. Additionally, try speaking with people who are patient and understanding, as it can help reduce anxiety. Finally, remind yourself that making mistakes is normal, and each mistake is an opportunity to learn vocabulary. That's great advice. I'll work on building my confidence and not being too hard on myself when I make mistakes. One last thing that's been on my mind is expanding my vocabulary. I find that I often use the same words and phrases, and it can make my speech sound repetitive. Expanding your vocabulary is a fantastic goal, and it can certainly make your speech more varied and interesting. Have you tried any specific techniques for vocabulary? I've tried reading books and articles in English, but sometimes I encounter words I don't understand, and it's discouraging. It's completely normal to come across unfamiliar words while reading. When that happens, try to infer their meanings from the context. If you're still unsure, make a note of those words and look them up later. This way, you're not only expanding your vocabulary but also improving your reading comprehension. I'll start doing that. Are there any other methods to build vocabulary more effectively? Yes, there are several techniques you can use. Consider keeping a vocabulary journal where you write down new words you encounter. Try to use these words in your conversations or writing to reinforce your memory. Additionally, you can use vocabulary building apps and flashcards to make the learning process more interactive. Those are great suggestions. I'll definitely try them out. Thank you for being so helpful, teacher. You're very welcome. Remember, vocabulary expansion is an ongoing process, so be patient with yourself. The more words you learn and use, the more fluent and confident you'll become in your English speaking. I will keep that in mind. Your advice has been invaluable. I really appreciate your time and support, teacher. It's been a pleasure assisting you. Language learning can be challenging, but your dedication is commendable. Don't hesitate to reach out if you ever need more guidance or have further questions. Keep up the excellent work. Fantastic. Thank you so much, teacher. You are the best. I'll be sure to do that. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day. You're welcome, and you too have a fantastic day. Take English conversation practice care, and keep up your enthusiasm for learning English. Teacher, can you give me more tips about how to improve my English, please? They're really helpful. Sure, but maybe some other time. Now, we ran out of time. Maybe in a next video. Of course, only if our subscribers want another video about tips to improve your English.
Dear listeners, I hope you like this conversation. If you cool and improve your English a little more, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with friends. And if you want to support this channel, you can join us or click on the super thank button. Thanks.